And today we're going to focus on verses 31 through 39 quickly for some directives on how we are to govern ourselves in spite of what others say. It says, what then shall we say in response to these things? Talking about these things that I just listed. If God is for us, who can be against us? Because, see, he's the one that gave his son for us. And so, since he gave his son for us, will he not graciously give us all things? Because if God is for us, who can be against us? And saints, no matter what they say, remember that God is for us. See, I know it sounds rather simplistic, but let me just put some meat on that. When God is for you, God will speak with clarity to you about you. There's some things that are too critical in your life for God to speak to everybody else about but you. But you've got to have a level of closeness to God. There's proximity that matters. If you're never talking to God except for on Sunday during worship, you'll never be able to hear from him. Sometimes you got to get away from every distraction so that you can hear the voice of God. Not only will God speak with clarity, God will also direct you. He will order your steps, but here's the caveat. You got to want your steps to be ordered. If you don't want ordered steps, God will not force himself on anybody. If you don't want ordered steps, God will move out of your way. But when God is for you, God will also defend you. You ain't got to get to arguing with everybody, trying to prove your point, trying to prove your worth. God will defend you. That's why the scripture says that no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. And then the psalmist even put it like this: he'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. All of your enemies can be surrounded around you. But when God has you covered, and saints, that's why I understand Psalm 91 a little bit better. He or she that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow. Because sometimes it's just the fact we've been in the shadow. And let me tell you something else. Some of us have been protected because of mama's shadow, daddy's shadow. We thought we were big and bad. We were going to do whatever we wanted to do. But God saw Big Mama and them shadow and covered you because of their faithfulness. Is there anybody who knows that when you thought you were so grown and thought you were going to get outside of yourself, it was your mama's prayers, your daddy's prayers, grandmama, granddaddy, deacon, so-and-so, but they had you covered. So don't think you so smart. Thank God you just been that covered. But see, here it is when God is for you. Here's what we have to do. Oh, here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. I'm preaching to myself too. Get God out of your shoebox. And I said shoebox on purpose because some of us haven't even put God in a U-Haul box. We put God in a shoebox, and we've tried to bring God down to our level instead of reaching up to God's level. Stop trying to reduce God down to your level of thinking. The word is plain and true. It says his ways are not our ways. Somebody talk to me over here. His thoughts are not our thoughts. As high as the heavens are from the earth, so are his ways from our ways, and our thoughts from his thoughts from our thoughts. Stop trying to reduce God down to your level. God got great things in store for all of us if we would get God out of the box. Tell somebody, get God out of your box. Tell somebody else, get God out of your box. Put your hand on yourself and say, self, let God out of the box. It was interesting that the children sang Hang On by Kiara Sheard and GEI, and I was listening to an interview of Kiara Sheard recently, and Kiara said that she spent a lot of time worrying about whether she was going to have to live in the shadow of her mother and her aunts, the Clark sisters. She said, so she just took those little opportunities she would get, and she would be grateful for them. She said, but one day her mama told her, she said, you're going to do more than we ever did. God's going to take you places we only dreamed of going. She said, get God out of your box. She said, be authentically who God made you to be, and God will open up windows. And let me tell you something, stop trying to be like somebody else. Stop trying to live somebody else's life. Just because they told you that doesn't mean that's what God had for you. Be authentically who you are. Be genuine about who God made you to be. And if they don't like your authenticity, that's not your problem, that's theirs, and they can go on somewhere else. But be who God